Hey there, I'm David Coffey with Bosley Real Estate, and today we are going to dive into one of real estate's biggest questions. Are boomers actually going to downsize? For years, we've heard a familiar story. A family buys a starter home that they can afford. When they have some kids, they move up to something bigger. And then when the kids leave, they downsize to something smaller. But is that actually what's happening? Turns out, not so much. Many of the boomers and the silent generation before them are staying in their big houses and not going anywhere. So why is this happening? Let's break it down. Why is everyone watching the boomers? Well, this generation bought real estate at a time when it was a lot more affordable to buy real estate here in Toronto. And due to their large numbers, they purchased a lot of real estate and built a lot of real estate wealth here in this city. In fact, they will be responsible for the greatest generational transfer of wealth in the history of the world. So many of the generations behind them are waiting for them to sell some of their bigger houses to free up some of the real estate here in Toronto, but they are sticking with their property. Let's dive in and see why that's happening. Reason number one that boomers are staying put, it's just too expensive. If they have to pay the land transfer taxes to leave and buy something smaller, if they have to pay capital gains on any of their investment properties, it may not be worth it to downsize from something bigger to something smaller. Reason number two, they're comfortable just where they are. Many individuals who have lived in the same property for decades do not want to change anything. They've obviously stayed there for a reason. They know the local bakery, they know where to go for the supermarket, they know their neighbors. They have grown deep roots where they are. I've even had sellers tell me, I'm not leaving this house unless you carry me out in a box, and you can't argue much with that. Reason number three, they don't like the alternatives. Many boomers are not keen on condos. They have grown up with a lot of space. Many of them have grown up in houses, and they don't have any shared walls with anyone. So moving from a big yard to a balcony can be very jarring for them. Of course, there are many seniors and boomers who are happy to move to a condo, but en masse, they like a lot of space and they are not keen on moving into something very small. But here's the twist. When they do finally sell, many boomers tell me that they are happy that they made that decision and they wish they had done it a little bit earlier. When you move from a house to a condo, you often free up a lot more time to go traveling, to see your family, or to even just go to the gym. When you are living in a big house, it often requires a lot of maintenance, and it also requires a lot of time to work on that yard, even though you might love the gardening. So in reality, the boomers aren't really moving from their big properties, and I suspect that they aren't going to do that anytime soon. You really can't blame them. It's a big decision and it's an expensive one. So if they stay put, that is perfectly their right. So what's next? Well, instead of a flood of listings, we are likely to see a trickle of listings coming from the boomers as they downsize. They may not downsize until they absolutely have to. Some of them may not downsize at all because they will transfer their real estate wealth to their children. That'll be part of the intergenerational wealth transfer I mentioned earlier. Now, what about the millennials and the Gen Xers who follow the boomers? Will they be able to sell their real estate to the generation behind them? Well, very likely that's going to be the case because Gen X and the millennials have their wealth very much tied up in real estate. So when it comes time to retire, there is a good chance that they will need to sell their properties. So if you are one of those people who believe that there is going to be a big boomer sell-off of real estate here, a boomer tsunami, if you will, I'm here to tell you that that big wave is not heading our way. We are more likely going to see a small ripple. Now, if you have any ideas of your own on how the boomer generation is affecting real estate here in Toronto, please do comment below. And if you like what you see here, please do hit the like or subscribe button. I'm David Coffey of Bosley Real Estate.